everyone, this is Sakshi from Clovers and Happiness, and today we'll talk about my favorite topic, tea. If you're looking to start your own tea collection, then you have come to the right place. So what comes to your mind when I say tea? For me, it's a meditation. It's patience. When you go into the kitchen, there are so many things that you have to think about, like the temperature of the water, the kind of water you're using, the vessel in which you're going to boil the water, the amount of tea which you'll use, the number of tea leaves, for how long you'll steep it. So these are some few things that you have to keep in mind, and there's a lot of waiting. It is a patience game, guys. Tea is a humble drink. It is very refreshing, just like the surroundings I am in right now. It helps me to focus when I need my attention, say for studying, and when I need to devote everything at one place. You'd be surprised to know that all your tea comes from a single plant, the Camellia sinensis plant. Whether it's your green tea, white tea, black tea, oolong tea, pu'er tea, everything comes from one plant. It's only the herbal infusions that do not come from plant, like for example, these both are herbal infusions. The varieties of tea depend upon climate of the place, elevation of the plantation, whether it's grown in shade or outside. The type also depends upon the oxidation level the tea goes through, and all of this affects how your plant tastes in the end. Tea is packaged in two varieties. First is your loose tea and the second is your bagged tea. Bagged tea is basically the cheap quality tea, which is the remnants of the original loose leaf tea. It is called as tea dust or fannings, and if you want a good tea experience, then you don't want to buy bagged tea. Let's start with the tea categories. So first up we have the black tea, the pure black tea. So here I have the Darjeeling pure black tea and Hilway exclusive Golden Ceylon tea. Black teas have maximum amount of caffeine, which can be about 50 to 90 milligrams per cup, but it's less than coffee. They undergo the maximum amount of oxidation, 99%, and they're very delicate. So you shouldn't be steeping them for too long. For this particular one, I go for 2 minutes, and for Golden Ceylon, I go for about 3.5 to 4 minutes, depending upon the kind of weather it is outside. Darjeeling tea is a full-bodied tea. You need actively boiling water to unlock all the flavors for such tea. For full-bodied teas, I mean. And for something like Hilway, Golden Ceylon tea, these are strong and intense teas which are very robust tasting and flavorful. So let's move on to flavored black teas. First up is the Ceylon tea with flower petals. So it looks something like this. If you have a closer look, then you can see the blue flowers in this. So this has black tea with cherry flavor, lemon, cornflower petals and sunflower petals. Next up we have Test Pleasure. It is black tea with rosehip and apple. It says that this variety is a complex blend where spicy flavor of tea from Piedmont plantations in Ceylon is augmented with fullness and astringency of Indian tea. Warm aroma of tropical fruits brings a sweet note to the composition. This is the most popular tea blend in the entire world because of citrus flavor of bergamot, which balances out the tannins in the tea. Earlier, for the Earl Grey tea, we used to use the Chinese Keemum tea, but now because people like to add milk and cream to their teas, the stronger flavor of Ceylon tea is preferred. The third category of teas are green teas. In India, green tea is synonymous with this brand, Organic India Tulsi Green Tea or Organic India Green Tea. This is a good tea brand, but I think we should explore something more than that. And the most famous ones around here are the Chinese green teas. So I've got 3 brands here. These tea are popular in Russia, but you can get them in India for a different name. So this is the Oriental green tea, this is Princess Java lemon tea, and Greenfield Flying Dragon tea. So good thing about green teas is that it will get your day started but won't get you jumping around like black teas. Chinese green teas are popular because they're wok fired. That means there's basically this pan and then you put the loose leaf inside and then you sort of heat it up till the oxidation process of the leaves stop. Hilve Oriental Green has a delicate, subtle flavor. It's a light tea with light texture and 35 milligrams of caffeine per cup. And Princess Java is my go-to tea for the lemon peel and the flavor that it has. Flying Dragon comes from southern China. It has a floral aroma and it tastes very fresh. So I would say that if you are going for, if you're a noob in the green tea world, then Flying Dragon should be something that you should taste from the Chinese variety. Next up is the Kahwa chai, which is very close to my heart, also called kahwa in my language. I come from the Kashmir Valley, and this is what the loose leaf looks like. I've prepared the other version, which is a fine powder instant version. I'm going to read out the ingredients of the tea. Here are the green tea leaves. After that you put some cardamom, cinnamon, zanjabil, saffron, herbs and sugar. I would say that the loose leaf form is better than the instant version, of course. That's because the original preparation is in this copper vessel where you put coals at the bottom and the tea keeps heating up. The saffron adds a lot of flavor to the tea, and it is enjoyed from India to Central Asia, Afghanistan. All these countries, they produce and enjoy kahwa a lot. One thing to really remember for green tea is not to use boiling water. Your water should be anywhere around 70 to 90 degrees Celsius, and that is because if you use hot water, the green tea releases tannins and the flavor of that is very prominent in it. It's gonna give you a very bitter, astringent kind of flavor, and then you won't be able to drink it. So one way that you can do it is by using a thermometer, or there's this concept of reading the bubbles, which means like at the bottom of the pan, small bubbles, when they start forming just right before boiling, you should take the cue to switch off the stove like 30 seconds after the bubbles start forming. That is if you're using a stove and a pan. If you look closely, then you'll see all dried rose petals, cardamom, cinnamon, ashwagandha, minced lemon and orange peels. Let me show you. That is it's pretty cool what they look like. Here are some orange peels. Dried apples, jasmine, hibiscus and licorice root. I'm pretty sure there is more in this, but I couldn't speak Turkish when I got this. So that's all I know about this tea, guys. And this is just lavender. Simple, plain old lavender. It smells so good. Here I have my lavender tea steeping in this small pot. These are all just dried lavender flowers and stems, along with some hot water, boiling water, that I poured over it a while ago. There are over 40 species of lavender. English and French are the ones that are mainly used for the lavender tea. One thing to always remember about lavender tea is that you should never overdo it. Put very less leaves, because that's going to kill the flavor if it becomes too astringent. And last up is our love tea, the herbal aphrodisiac blend, the artist's inspiration, which arouses senses and melts stress. I mean, look at the color. This is all the rose and orange and I guess hibiscus, which gives it this red color. My god. And that's about it, guys. These are all the beginner's teas that I recommend. During summertime, I like to sit in a park, have a book, have a tea before me and just lay down and read it. So for now, I'm reading Far from the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy, with descriptions of rural life and amazing landscapes. I love romantic classics. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider subscribing. I've got tons of videos coming up about holistic lifestyle, minimalism and much more. Till then, I'm Sakshi and have a beautiful day ahead.